Alright guys, welcome back. Today I wanted to make a quick tier list about all of the zombie maps that were released in Black Ops 7 and Black Ops 6 of last year. I didn't include the Cold War maps because I think those are like so different from these ones, and yeah, I just wanted to make a separate tier list for that one because it was so long ago. It was 5 years ago, and I haven't played them that much recently. Basically, last time I played Cold War Zombies was back in like 2022 or 2021 or something. So yeah, I didn't include those ones, but I really wanted to give my opinion on the Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 zombie maps until now. I did include the newest zombies map, Kowakujo. I've played it several times. I haven't beaten the Easter egg, but I did try to complete the Easter egg, but I failed on the boss fight at the end when the bar was like at the smallest point ever, but I didn't manage to complete it, so I will give it a go again. But I basically did complete all of the Easter egg steps, and I know how the map plays and what the strong points of the map are and all that stuff. And I did play all of the other maps that came out as well, so basically wanted to rank these maps up until the final zombies map that will be released in Season 5 Reloaded. I think that one will probably release in like a month time or month and a half or something, not that long until now. And that is basically going to be the final zombies map for the next 3 years, 2 or 3 years, and up until the end of 2028. If Treyarch managed to do another zombies game, but it could also be the final zombies map. We don't know. And they did announce this one, this final zombie map that will be released in Season 5 Reloaded will be the final map in this storyline. So I think it's the right time to make this tier list, and I'm going to do it in order from the release. So I will start with the Black Ops 6 maps, the launch map, and all the way up into Kowakujo at the end. And I'm basically going to rank these maps pure from enjoyment. Also, I'm going to consider the aesthetics of the map, how well it plays, how does it compare to the older zombie maps back in like Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. And yeah, I'm basically going to compare these maps also to each other. How do they compare to the Black Ops 6 maps and stuff, all that stuff. So yeah, this list will probably vary from your version of this tier list, but I just wanted to give my opinion on these maps because I actually do think that there are some pretty good maps in these games, even though these games are in general pretty hated in the community. I don't understand why. It's a new form of zombies. It's not original zombies like we knew it, but it's a different take on it. It's modern zombies, and I think even with this formula there can still be a lot of enjoyment in it, and you're going to see it from my rankings of these maps. Alright, I want to start with Black Ops 6 Terminus. I think this one was actually a very solid launch map with the game. This was one of the 2 maps that they launched with in Black Ops 6, and the hype for this zombies map was absolutely unreal. I remember the trailers that came out of it as well, and it looked fantastic. It was probably one of the largest zombie maps they released by that point, basically ever, from all of the Black Ops and World of War games. And it did really feel like it. Obviously the water on that map did make it feel a lot bigger than it actually was, but still, you know, it was a pretty big map. It was enjoyable. The atmosphere was fantastic, which was lacking for the last few years, especially compared to Cold War. I think this was very definitely a step in the right direction. And I did actually really enjoy this map. It had some cool special enemies. Obviously the Amalgam, they put it in a lot of other zombie maps after that as well, so it became less enjoyable, but for this map alone it really fitted. Yeah, for me overall this was a solid map, even compared to like the OG maps. I think this is one of the better ones that they released, and I think people will remember this one from a few years from now. They will remember this one as a great map even. I don't want to put it in S because I think other maps deserve that spot in this category, but I do really think this one is an exceptional map, so I'm probably going to put it in A tier. Like I said, this isn't going to be a very detailed review of the map. I'm not going to compare every single aspect of the maps themselves and every single wonder weapons and stuff like that, but I'm just going to give my general overview of the map and how much I enjoyed playing it. So for me this is definitely A tier. It was a very solid start of Black Ops 6. and it promised a lot of good for the future seasons. But yeah, I'll give my opinion on those very soon. Alright, the second launch map was Liberty Falls. This one got actually quite a bit of criticism at the start of the game, and even before launch, because most people saw the atmosphere of the map and basically wrote it off already, and it didn't really look like zombies to them. And I get where they're coming from, because it does look a lot like Cold War zombies, which basically didn't have a lot of atmosphere at all, especially compared to the OG zombie maps back in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1 and stuff. It looked very dull, basically looked like a multiplayer map. They did adjust for launch, but they didn't adjust it that much. The difference wasn't that much, but I actually do think from a gameplay perspective this one was actually very good. It was a nice map because it was a very easy map to follow. It was a very easy map to play. It was one of the better maps to high round on as well. It had an exceptional wonder weapon as well with the jet gun. I think this one is enjoyable, but it's not really a map you're going back to play a lot of the times, because after a while, if you played it a few times already, it does become a bit boring. Even though it's very easy to play, it is very boring in my opinion. But it's definitely not a bad map per se, but I just think Terminus was the better one of the launch maps, and I think even the DLC ones were quite a bit better than this one. So I'm not going to give this one a very bad rating, because I do think it serves its purpose. It definitely has its moments, but it's not the best map by far. So this one is probably going into C tier. For me, C tier definitely isn't bad, but this is just compared to all of the other maps that they release. So I'm not saying this is a bad map. It's just a map that it can be pretty forgettable, and you're basically not going back to play this one, because it doesn't really have very unique elements in the map itself. So C tier is correct for me. Then we have the DLC 1 map, Citadel named More. And they released this one pretty quickly after launch. I do remember, basically like a month after launch, which was very quick for the zombie standards. Most of the DLCs released like 2 or 3 months post launch. This one was actually very surprising. This was very good. I think up until now this was probably my favorite map of the game, mostly due to the wonder weapons, because they had the swords, and those were very unique. We haven't really seen that in zombies before. Maybe a bit in Black Ops 4, but these ones were elemental, so which basically meant that every one of your party members could play with a wonder weapon, and which had different unique elements. The map itself wasn't very big, to my surprise. It was actually very small, but I think the wonder weapons did save this map, because if you took them out, I think this map will drop a few points as well, because just from a pure gameplay perspective, I don't think it's the best one of all. But yeah, the wonder weapon proves that the map can be significantly pushed up because of the wonder weapons itself. So for me, this isn't the best one. It's also not the worst one. It's actually pretty good if you play it back at the moment. This is probably one of the maps that I will go back to play the most. But yeah, especially compared to the maps we've gotten recently, I don't think this is the best one. So I think B tier for me is probably correct. I think Terminus is a more aesthetically pleasing map. It's a more unique map in my opinion. The wonder weapons on the Citadel are better in my opinion. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to put this one in A tier, because yeah, the wonder weapens do really make up for the map, and the wonder weapons are more enjoyable than the Terminus wonder weapon. So yeah, I'm going to switch it from B to A. I think both of are A tier, but I think Terminus is still the better map. It looks better, and it was more unique at the time. So, but yeah, they're both pretty good maps. Probably the two maps that I will go back to play the most. Then we have the most controversial map of all, I think, the Tomb. This one was hyped very much before launch. We had to wait a long time to receive this map, from what I remember. Basically like 2 or 3 months or something. They basically pitched this map as like an Origins reimagining, which this map basically wasn't in the slightest. This was basically like the opposite of Origins remastered. This was like a glorified survival map in my opinion. And basically I kind of lost interest for zombies around this time when I played this map. Basically the first time I booted up this map and I played it, I already felt like, you know, it was very small, it didn't really enjoy it. The aesthetics were actually pretty nice. but the map definitely lacked depth at all. So yeah, this wasn't that enjoyable for me. I think this is definitely one of the worst maps they've released. This is definitely much worse than Liberty Falls, but you know, you can enjoy it if you just want to boot up zombies and you don't want to do heavy Easter egg steps and you basically just want to play it. I think for the casual audience this map is probably one of the better ones. But just for a long time hardcore zombies fan who basically completed all of the Easter eggs for basically 20 years. I think this one is definitely one of the worst ones. It basically felt like a map they had to push out because of time constraints, and they didn't really thought out this map at all. And yeah, they reused a lot of assets from the Warzone map with the starting area as well. So this felt basically like they run out of time to make the zombie map, and they basically had already started working on Black Ops 7, so they pushed this one out. So for me this one is going into D tier. I think most of you will probably agree with this, but yeah, the casuals may find this one a bit more enjoyable than the hardcore audience. I can be certain of that. Then we have Liberty, no, this is Shattered. This was the third DLC they released in the game. For me, basically, I stopped playing Black Ops 6 at this time. I basically only came back for this map because I personally didn't really enjoy Black Ops 6 at the time. The multiplayer I didn't enjoy, and the Warzone section also didn't enjoy. But you know, I came back for this map because most of the general audience of the community did find this map pretty enjoyable. So I basically came back to play this one. It was a pretty decent map. It was definitely a lot better than the Tomb was. I think it's comparable to Citadel Day more, but the wonder weapons were also really reused. The Raygun Mark IIs were from Black Ops 4, and they did bring back the Wunderwaffe, but it wasn't really that special because we all saw those wonder weapons in other games as well. And yeah, later we found out that this entire map was reused by Warzone assets, but I still think, you know, this was definitely an improvement of the last map. It gave some hope of the game that they can actually bring back solid maps, but this is like the perfect B tier map for me. It's not bad, it's not great, but it's decent. We'll all go back to play it in the future, maybe not, I don't know. It is definitely the definition of mid of a zombies map for me, so I think B tier is the right fit. Then we have the final map of Black Ops 6. This was basically at the part where no one played Black Ops 6 at this time, and Reckoning was like the final zombies map, which basically wasn't hyped at all. And everyone knew at that point that this was a reused asset from Warzone, so the hype for this map went down significantly. So yeah, for me this was the same. I did play it at the end. I actually did complete the Easter egg from what I remember at the launch week, but I didn't really like this map. I basically played it 1 or 2 or maybe 3 times in total, and for me I basically just checked out of the game at that point. It just wasn't as enjoyable, and yeah, I'm basically going to give this one a C. I do think it's worse than Liberty Falls, because Liberty Falls is easier to get into. I just think it's very Reckoning is very boring map, and basically for a finale map of a game, it isn't very good. It definitely is one of the worst finale maps they put out, I do believe. Then we're going to move on to Black Ops 7, which started off actually very strong with Ashes of the Damned. I basically knew from before the launch and at the launch no one was basically hyped for the entire game because it was so hated, because it was basically Black Ops 6 2.0, which I don't agree with at the moment, but I get where most people are coming from in the community. But for me, Ashes of the Damned was basically like the perfect start for the zombies game. It was actually a very unique zombies map. With the car obviously, and it was basically like a transit reimagining, but actually good this time. This was very well thought out, locations made sense. It was actually really big, but the car made it feel like it wasn't as big. I definitely think this is one of the better zombie maps they put out, even compared to the older ones. So I am going to put this one in S tier because I appreciate the amount of innovation they try to do with this map, with the car, with a different type of enemies and the locations. It looked very beautiful. It was one of the first maps they put out in a long time that actually looked like zombies. So yeah, it definitely gets bonus points for that, and it was a very strong start to Black Ops 7 in my opinion. Then we have Astra Malorum. For me, this was actually very disappointing. They basically hyped this map before launch that it was one of the craziest maps they are ever going to do. Purely from a atmosphere point and location point, I understand that, because the location is actually very cool. It is in space. If you look at the skybox itself, it looks very cool. But the gameplay itself is actually very annoying. I don't think this is a map I will go back to play it a lot, because the most annoying special enemy they've ever done within Oscar, which basically ruins the entire map for me, because it basically disrupts all the gameplay. I appreciate that they try something new. I appreciate that they tried a new, different type of enemy. But for me, this doesn't make the map enjoyable at all. So looking back at it, it's probably one of the worst maps they've put out in Black Ops 7. The hype for this game, the hype for this map specifically, was a lot bigger than it actually came out to be. So I do think that this one, probably C tier, top of C tier. It has its redeeming elements, of course, with the atmosphere, the location. But for me, Oscar ruins this entire map for me. If I'm going to pick a map in Black Ops 7 that I want to replay, this is probably going to be the final map that I will try, because all of the other ones are better in my opinion. Moving on to Paradox Junction. So yeah, this is basically a Nuketown remake. We've already seen Nuketown zombies before in Black Ops 2 and also in Black Ops 4 with Alpha Mega. We've seen Nuketown a lot of times in Call of Duty, and basically everyone was fed up with Nuketown before launch. So I understand why this map is very hated in the community, because it wasn't innovated at all. And they added basically like one portion to it and they called it a day. But you know, for actually, this feels like a survival map that was meant for launch, but they actually pushed it out to DLC. So I don't really consider this one a DLC map. I basically consider this as an extra bonus map that they released later. Obviously it had a full Easter egg quest, but you have to basically view this map as a survival map that you can boot up if you wanted to play a quick game of zombies. It definitely is one of the better maps for the casual audience who just want to boot up the game and shoot zombies and basically quit after half an hour. So yeah, if you look at it from that perspective, I think it's actually pretty decent, but it's not really a map that has very good innovation. From the nuked version of the map, it looks very good, but the other version of the map is basically just a remastered Black Ops 6 Nuketown version. So that does bring the map down for me. So this is probably going into C tier for me. I think it's comparable to Liberty Falls, but do think it's quite a bit better than Astra Malorum, because I probably will boot this map up quicker than Astra Malorum. But it's not a great map by all means, so yeah, for me this is the correct. Yeah, C tier is incorrect, I think. Then we have Totenreich, which released like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago. Not that long ago actually. This map is probably one of the better maps they've ever put out, especially in the modern COD Zombies era. But even compared to the OG Zombies, you know, I think this map is exceptional. The atmosphere is great. The wonder weapon is very cool. The boss fight is absolutely insane. The map plays well. It has some unique elements to it. It has some OG elements to it. Yeah, I enjoyed doing the Easter egg as well. I enjoyed playing it. I definitely went back and replayed this map quite a bit of times, and it isn't that old already. So if we're looking at a year from now and I want to play a Black Ops 7 Zombies map, this is probably one of the first ones I will boot up, because yeah, it was actually that good for me. This is probably going into S tier. It's for me it's more enjoyable than Ashes of the Damned, because of the yeah, I just enjoy the location more and the wonder weapon as well. But both these maps are exceptional. I think both the maps are S tier worthy, and these are definitely one of the better maps they've put out up until now. And yeah, these maps they prove that modern zombies can work if they just put out a good map and make some unique elements to it, make some unique map specific elements to it. Yeah, it's a decent map. Yeah, I think these are definitely going down to be the best zombies map from these games, and I think most of the community will agree with that as well. Then we are going to the final map of this game, Kowakujo, the most recent one, which came out a week ago. And yeah, I told you at the start of the video I did try to complete the Easter egg. I failed the boss fight, but I will try again. But I did most of the steps. I used the wonder weapon. I basically know the entire map from the top of my head, and I think I have a pretty decent opinion of it so far. I think this one is going into S tier as well. I love the setting of it. The Japan and volcano setting is very cool. It's very pretty to look at. The atmosphere is great. The gameplay plays well. I think the wonder weapon is unique, even though the wonder weapon itself isn't that good. The boss fight is very unique and it looks very good, and yeah, just from a gameplay perspective I really do enjoy it. It's quite a bit smaller than I expected for this map. I expected it to be a more similar size to Ashes of the Damned, which it isn't. I think it's comparable size to Esther Malorum, or maybe slightly bigger, I don't know. But it doesn't really hurt the map. The map itself is still very good. It looks very cool. This one proves that even with a small size you can still make a very solid zombies map. So yeah, I think this one is definitely going down in the future as one of the better maps that they've put out. I think most people will probably play this map quite a few times. They will try to beat E-Stack, and it makes me very excited for the final one, because they definitely build up quite a bit of momentum in this game, and I think Black Ops 7 Zombies is shaping up to be one of the better experiences so far. It definitely is my favorite Zombies game since Black Ops 3. But yeah, it basically all comes down to the final map and how good that one will be and how enjoyable that one will be. They've hyped it pretty well up, but we haven't seen anything of it so far. But yeah, if we just take a look at Kowakujo, it's a very solid DLC 4 map from the top of my head. Yes, for me it's a DLC 4 map, yes. Yeah, it's a very good one. I think it's probably going down into the middle. No, yeah, I don't know, maybe. I think this one go to the final spot of S tier. I think Ashes of the Damned and Total War are slightly a bit better. Gameplay perspective, but I think overall it's still an S tier map. It's still better than all of the other maps in my opinion, and it's definitely a very solid map overall. So yeah, this is basically going to be it. I have one map in D tier and all of the other ones are in other tiers as well. But this is just from my perspective of playing it a few times and my experience with modern zombies. I'm curious if all of you agree with this tier list, or you have different opinions. Let me know if you have a different opinion on it. It would be nice to hear. But for now I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'm curious about your opinion. So let me know. I will see you all guys in the next video. Bye bye.